Hey guys, Coach Andrew here, coming at you with another question from one of our friends on the internet. Our question today is, I'm lazy. I'm not going to read you the whole message. It was actually pretty long. It was a few paragraphs. But this person is just struggling with productivity. They feel lazy, and they have a tendency to end up sitting on the couch and, maybe the TV's on and the videos just keep one after the other, like YouTube or it's Netflix. They just keep watching the next episode, and they sit there and they have a really clear picture of what they need to be doing. They know the steps, right? They can picture it happening. And whenever they think about what they should be doing, they get really motivated and they get really hyped, and they're excited because they can see the end result. They can see them completing the task that they need to get done. But for some reason, they just can't get themselves to get up and start. And, the whole day goes by and they go through this cycle of thinking about things, getting anxiety, thinking about it on a deeper level and breaking it down and motivating themselves and getting really motivated, kind of getting a high, and then failing to take action, and the anxiety comes back. So they're caught in this feedback loop where they know what they need to do, they know how to do it, but they just can't get themselves to really get started. And it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. And this is like a textbook example of a negative feedback loop. And this is something that I teach in the mindset unit of the Coaching Conversion Blueprint, which is my course that's in beta test right now. If you want to be a part of it, shoot me a message. You can join the beta test. But it'll be launching later in 2019, towards the end of the year. And when I talk about feedback loops, I kind of break it down like this. So here's some free coaching for all of you guys. A feedback loop consists of three parts. There is an action, an effect, and a reaction, okay? So in the example that our friend gave us, he's sitting on the couch, he's thinking about what he needs to do, right? And the thoughts are like the first action, right? The thoughts are like the first action. The effect is that these thoughts cause a surge of emotion. They cause either he gets really motivated, right? And he wants to go and he can picture it happening, or it causes anxiety. And the anxiety is like a negative effect, right? So these thoughts happen, they cause an emotion, that's the effect. And then the reaction is the next thought that he has. So he's thinking about what he needs to do. He gets really, really motivated about it. And then he reacts to that motivation by probably making the task seem more complicated than it needs to be. That would be how a negative feedback loop starts. And as soon as he thinks negatively about the task and how difficult it is and how much work it's going to be, that causes another action. And the action is he stays sitting on the couch. He has more negative thoughts. He starts overcomplicating and overthinking things. And that causes another effect, which is more anxiety. It builds his anxiety. And then that anxiety causes another action. Do you see how this works? It's just a feedback loop. And whether you choose to be positive or negative, it's going to cause a new effect, and it's going to reinforce the feedback loop that you're feeding into, positive or negative. The way to fix a feedback loop is to firstly understand how they work. So you have to identify the catalysts that cause these feedback loops. So for our friend here, it seems like the catalyst is when he's being lazy, right? So to be super general, when he's sitting on the couch, not doing what he's supposed to be doing, and he starts thinking about what he's supposed to be doing, that's the catalyst. And it's going to make him start, overthinking things, getting kind of anxious, hyper-focusing on things that don't really matter, the small details. And that catalyst is what pushes him into that negative feedback loop. And then as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, he's going to keep reinforcing it, and it's just going to keep repeating itself in a cyclical fashion. So to counteract this, you've got to have something in place that you can kind of inject into your mind as soon as you identify a negative catalyst. So whenever he's feeling lazy and he starts thinking about what he needs to do, he needs to have some type of logical, reasoned response. And the best response that I can give you for this particular problem, being lazy, is to take immediate action, okay? Take immediate action. So step number one, understand your thought loops, your feedback loops, understand how they work, and identify the catalysts that cause them. Number two, have a remedy prepared so that the next time you begin to enter into a negative feedback loop, you can immediately implement this and it will break that feedback loop and push you into a positive feedback loop. And the easiest way to do that is to just take immediate action on what you need to do. Because here's the thing. A lot of people, they feel lazy, they feel tired and unmotivated, often when they're just overthinking, okay? A lot of people put things off because of some type of subconscious emotion that they're experiencing about what needs to be done. Difficult things are uncomfortable, right? Difficult things are uncomfortable. And if you have a large task in front of you, maybe it's something new that you've never done and you're not entirely sure if it's going to fail or succeed. Maybe you have to do something that is uncomfortable, like have an awkward conversation with someone. You need to do something that's not exactly fun. Maybe you need to work out, right? And you're just tired and you don't want to exert that much energy. Whatever it is, it's uncomfortable. It's something that's not fun. And so your brain is scared. Your subconscious is fearful of what might happen if you do this thing. So what your subconscious brain does is it starts tickling your prefrontal cortex and it causes you to start overthinking, okay? Because your reptile brain controls everything. Your subconscious mind controls everything. Whether you think it does or it doesn't, it does. And it will trick you into overthinking. And overthinking is the mechanism by which it keeps you from doing what it doesn't want you to do. So you have difficult things to do, stop thinking about them, okay? Because overthinking is going to hold you back. It's going to keep you from taking action. And taking action is really the only thing that you can do to prove to yourself that this task isn't that bad, or that the things you aren't sure about, you can become sure about by doing it and learning and getting experience and acquiring skills and practicing. Taking action is the only way to get those things. You will never get closer to your goals by thinking about them. And it's so easy to think about what we need to do and what we're not doing and all the time we've wasted and all the time we have in front of us, and to make all these elaborate plans and break down the step-by-step process. We can do all of this in our heads sitting on the couch while YouTube or Netflix is playing. And that doesn't help us, does it? It doesn't help us at all. If there were two of us living in parallel universes, and one of us sat on the couch and kept overthinking, and the other one stopped thinking and just went and did what he knew he had to do, he just went and started and did what was the first step, that person would always get farther. Every time. Every time, guaranteed. You have to take action. You have to start doing what you know you need to do, because overthinking is not going to help you. So the first step, understand your thought process, the feedback loops, the cycles that you go through that cause depression, anxiety, laziness, low motivation, and have a response for the negative catalysts. Step number 2, stop overthinking and just take immediate action. Whatever you need to do, you know what the first step is. And if you don't know what the first step is, your first step is to go find out. Go find a mentor, go find a coach, go Google it, go search on YouTube, find a tutorial, buy a book, start reading the first chapter, do whatever you need to do to figure out what the first step is. And you just take the first step, you just start. Third, break it down, okay? So if all of this is still overwhelming and it's still hard for you to do, you just need to break down the task that's in front of you. So break it down step by step. If you need to work out, right? The first step is to not get up and go work out. The first step is to stand up. The second step is to put your shoes on. The third step is to grab a water bottle. The fourth step is to grab your car keys. The fifth step is to get in your car and drive to the gym. The sixth step is to walk into the gym. The seventh step is to get on the treadmill for 5 minutes and do a warm-up, right? It's that simple, okay? If you're really, really struggling to take immediate action, all you have to do is break down the task into a series of small, manageable, easily understood, easily implemented steps, and start with the very first one, okay? This is gonna fix your problem, okay? I guarantee, I promise you, I literally promise you that this is going to cure your laziness. It's going to cure your chronically low motivation every time. You just have to do the first step. That's all there is to it. It's a simple process. Sometimes it feels like it's easier said than done. Maybe it is. But most things in life are easier said than done. So I hope that helped, my friend. This is a problem that all of us deal with, and if you're feeling lazy, if your motivation's low, you just need to understand that this is normal. It's part of being human. It's your subconscious brain trying to keep you alive, trying to preserve energy, trying to do things that were useful thousands of years ago to our ancestors, but in our modern life today are actually not that useful and tend to hold us back. This is why I think it's so important for people to just understand like the basics of evolutionary biology and just, try to get a little bit of a grasp on neurochemistry and understand like why people do certain things, why our behaviors are the way that they are, because there are reasons, like there are roots to the way humans act. Like human nature has rules, and if you understand those rules, you can like start to work around them and actually start to change the way you behave and change the way you act. And because sometimes our human nature is not always working in our best interest, and it's not by its own fault either. Good luck, my friend. I hope you are able to cure your laziness. Just remember, it's never going to go away 100%, and it's part of who we are. So make sure you're leaving enough time for yourself, for enjoyment, okay? Because it's not always all about work. And most people, in addition to feeling lazy and guilty, are also way too hard on themselves. So don't be too hard on yourself, okay? Anyways, if you have questions for me about life, questions about relationships, business, fitness, coaching, self-development, or mindset, you can leave them in the comments or shoot them to the email down in the description. You can also check out my website, andrewwuellner.com, to learn more about me, what I do, and the services and products that I offer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. Please leave a like. It really helps. And we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.